Hello class, it's Amanda here. I decided to do a YouTube video for this discussion based on what the professor was saying as far as using different ways to participate in the discussion. So for week 3, topic 1, it was all about watching the social media revolution of 2015. The discussion was that as we review the multiple statistics that display in the YouTube video, assess the impact of social media in your life. The question specifically was, what role does it play in your life? That being social media. Are you aware of the social media policies of the organizations where you work, attend school, or volunteer? Have you used social media to resolve problems, participate in a cause you are passionate about, or to learn about UMUC? And then, how does social media impact your personal and professional communications? So in response to that, I've actually been a consumer of social media for more than half my life. I started being on social, or I had an account on social media when I was probably somewhere around 14 or 15 years old. That was about 12 years ago. No, I'm sorry, 16 years ago. My first social media account was actually through a website called bolt.com. It allowed me to meet people from different countries, states, backgrounds, cities, ethnicities. And what's really interesting about it is that I'm actually friends, like we talk on a regular basis with some of those people still today. I remember coming home from school and always wanting to log onto the computer with my super awesome dial-up internet just so that I could chat with these people on a regular basis. I have also created Facebook groups for several work-related entities. As you know, or if you don't know, I'm in the Navy, and I created a Facebook group for my command, which actually was a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be. Mostly because I had to navigate through the Navy's policy on command social media to figure out what the privacy settings were required, as well as registering the page with the Navy's official social media guidelines. A few classes ago, I took CMS 111, which is social networking and cybersecurity best practices. Part of the syllabus for that course was that I had to create social media accounts if I did already have them created through several different social media websites. One being Facebook. We had to create a Twitter account, an Instagram account, as well as a LinkedIn account. Now, I was already a part of the top 3. However, LinkedIn wasn't ever something that I had been introduced to because it wasn't something that I needed at that time. If you're not aware of what LinkedIn is, it basically is work-related social media, contacting people via your work, what kind of field you're in, excuse me, and being able to contact and make connections, hopefully that will eventually land you a job. I ended up making one through LinkedIn, and I actually have connected with many more people that I work with in my particular field, which is kind of difficult because I don't, like, my field is really small. Like, there aren't a whole lot of people, and basically, the people that you know the people that are in your field. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows who they are. Um, that being said, it was interesting because each one of those websites has different ways to make sure that your security is up to date. Each website also has a list of recommendation security settings depending upon how much information you want to put out. So if you're interested in updating your security settings, just check the help section of that particular website and verify your settings so that you are able to make sure that your security settings are where you want them to be. I have used social media for planning events. I've planned Christmas parties. Oh my goodness, yeah, Christmas parties, summer events, just all kinds of stuff for me to actually make the event better. Social media was really helpful when I wasn't necessarily able to see people face to face in order to communicate what communicate part of the planning along with them. So it was easier for me to contact them via social media than it would be, especially if I didn't have their phone number, uh, than to contact them via email or something to that effect. Uh, Something else that I use social media for is because for about the last 6 years or so, uh, a lot of the information that happens in the Navy when the Navy changes, whether it's uniform changes or something else to that effect, or advancement exam results, quotas that are being put out, uh, that stuff actually hits the streets via social media before it gets released via naval message, which is interesting. And I've always found that interesting because I remember looking for my advancement exam results and finding it via social media instead of finding it via um, the traditional channels, i.e., Navy message or through command notification, which was interesting. Um, so social media is a large part of my life, both personally and professionally. Again, easiest way for me to contact someone that I've lost touch with. For example, actually, just last week, I was contacted by one of my former coworkers from 9 years ago when I lived in Hawaii, who he works with someone who was going somewhere where I used to work, and he was looking for contact information, um, information about what to expect when he got there, kind of things like that. And he contacted me via Facebook Messenger and asked if he could pass along my information to his friend or his coworker. And I was like, absolutely. Here's my email address, you know. And the thing is that for me in the Navy, I change commands every 3 years or so, if not sooner, and sometimes it's a little later. And I don't publish that information. Like, that information, I don't put it on social media. Like, if you're my friend, if we talk on a regular basis, or we call or we text or something like that, then you probably know what's going on in my life. But it's not stuff that I put up on social media. So, uh, for in this particular case, I didn't tell my former coworker where I was going. He just knew that I had moved. So that was really the only way that he would be able to contact me. He would have had a very hard time getting in touch with me, especially since I had changed my phone number. And again, he didn't have any of that other contact information. Topic 2 was about Rosedale's mission with Second Life to fix the problem of alienation that technology created. The question was, do you believe in that more technology, for example, virtual worlds, can solve the problem of alienation that technology helped to create in the first place? Why or why not? Is there a solution to this problem? Do you have any experience with virtual worlds such as Second Life or World of Warcraft? And if so, what are your thoughts on virtual worlds? I do think that different types of technology can help solve the problem of alienation that technology helped to create. For example, an organization that I'm involved in uses an application called Slack to talk about upcoming events in between our regularly scheduled face-to-face meetings. But I do have to say that those face-to-face meetings are an integral part, or are particularly important, as our relationships, our personal relationships, are created through the physical interaction of our members. I can pull someone aside from the group, both through Slack, via direct message or DM, as easily as I can face to face, but understanding body language is another important factor when it comes to our communications. If I don't understand, I can't understand somebody's body language when we're in a virtual world. You know, those micro and macro expressions aren't well conveyed in a virtual world. You can see someone running or flying or, you know, sitting down at a table or whatever, but they're not able to you're not able to see their facial expressions when you say something that might anger them or might set them off, or you say something that is particularly upsetting to them. So having face-to-face interactions is absolutely integral to the relationship that I have with people that I work with on a regular basis. I don't have any experience with World of Warcraft or Second Life, but my thoughts on virtual worlds is that it seems that it would be a waste of time to create a virtual world where that time could be better spent, or better spent actually being productive in the physical world. If I'm spending 5 hours creating this virtual office that has beautiful glass walls and, you know, a glass ceiling or a glass floor or whatever, isn't that time that I could be spending on fundraising or a volunteer event or community service, or hey, maybe even just taking care of some personal issues that I might have? So that's my thought on virtual worlds. What do you guys think?